checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I kick my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for ching and nana mana pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay defeated, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art isn't art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. Initiative stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Good evening, Drone Brews and Fox Skydio. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the critically acclaimed Syndicate Drone Brews, the most sporadic stream in the whole dronosphere. Tonight, we're sponsored by none other than Modelo. Modelo, brewing across the border since 1962. I'm super excited to have this stream tonight. We're going to try I'm not going to promise anything. I keep fucking up. I'm out. I'm just joking. But maybe I should try to be more consistent with these things. But we've got some good news tonight. We're going to talk about it. We've got some great news. Some good news, but it is bittersweet good news, and I'll talk about as to why. Really quickly, let's jump into the chat and greet all of our fantastic people in there. We got Salem Red and Northside Hawk, Lambo Drive Zambo, Beatles Towing, Philip Koshat, Bro216. We got B-Man FPV. Good to see ya. We've got Bare Necessities, Aerial Photos. We got Bam Drones, 107 Drones. Hello, Mr. Barkley. And if I didn't make mention of it, there's no co-host tonight because we don't need co-hosts when we're on the Modelo. We've got Slick Hobbies RCD, Dover Drone Photography, Jody from Drone Shots. And if I missed you, obviously I see Gasket Mics in there. So if I missed you and you're lurking, I do apologize. Let's see. There is 67 in the chat, 14 likes. It doesn't get any sweeter than that on a Wednesday that just feels so completely discombobulated. I absolutely love it. We've got Matt Gray, Carolina Aerials, Eric Lindbergh, PD Puff FPV, James Van Boeven, Flying Robot, Glenn Labby. Everybody, welcome to the stream. Hopefully you have your brew of choice in hand. This was a sporadic brew. I just went right for the pint because that is how unprepared I truly am. So tonight we're talking about the news from the Senate. We've now discovered the verbiage that is in the NDAA, and it excludes the Countering CCP Drone Act language. So I'm just going to flip over here to the desktop here, sort of show you what we got here. So as of right now, we have Senate version of the NDAA excludes the Countering CCP Act language. Now, why I say this is a short celebration is because anytime the language changes from what Congress first delivered, it has to now go back to Congress for their consideration. Now, they may say, no. we want the NDAA in there, and then it can go back to the Senate, and the Senate says, no, we don't want it back in there. So it can be a whole back and forth. And that's why a lot of times when these bills are proposed, they are often months and sometimes even years away from being approved. But with the NDAA, it needs to be approved for the 2025 fiscal year. So if you were concerned that any of this would happen this year, 2024, I think we are safe. We'll have to see what happens and see if they change the verbiage. My assumption is it's going to change to some capacity, but hopefully this is a sign that people are tired of these drone bills and these proposals, and they've gotten earfuls, and hopefully their inbox is absolutely ass fucked with everybody just saying, hey, we don't want this. This isn't good. And you haven't given us any, real circumstantial information that would make us feel otherwise in fear for flying these drones. And a lot of times, anytime they're giving us these ramps or these sort of slopes, it doesn't make any sense. It's usually always, politically filled, financially filled and fueled, because if shit was really bad and they said something that was bad enough for us to stop operating these aircrafts, I think a lot of us would probably be like, okay, probably shouldn't be using this, but they haven't. So there's that. And I stand by that. So I still really do believe that Skydio is a big culprit in all of this, which is unfortunate. I said it in the last video and I'll say it here again. I am just absolutely not a fan of the way that they have gone with things. I feel like they have completely turned their backs on consumers and using the fact that they can't compete. I'm sorry, if you couldn't compete with the products you had before, you will not be able to compete even without DJI in your market share. Nobody's going to want to use your shitty products. I promise you that. But good news, though. It is good news. It is a step in the right direction. I am super stoked that it's not in there. I'm glad the Senate didn't put it in there because it could have easily been there. But if you really truthfully think about it, it really doesn't belong in there at all. It has nothing to do with the defense authorization and the funding for our military. It has nothing to do with that. So sneaking that in there is just sneaky. So, but karma is a bitch. Karma is a bitch. So that is awesome because, a lot of what I do here on this channel is drone related. I want to keep doing drone related content, but if you took DJI out of the equation, it certainly would become tougher until there was competition that were able to get to the level that they're at right now. DJI meaning that DJI is at right now and here in the States. And I don't see that happening very quickly. I would say that most companies are probably 5 years out from even being close, unless if there are some sleepers out there that are sort of lurking, waiting to see what happens. I don't really know, but I think from a consumer standpoint, we don't have anybody that really cares much for consumers. What if they aren't putting it in there because they like the House version? It has to go back. They changed it. They didn't include it in the Senate version. And now it goes back to the House because they want to see if the House will approve the version that the Senate has put forth. I mean, it could end up in there in the end. It very well could end up in there in the end, but I think there's a lot of money at play, and I don't think it will. We'll have to wait and see. This could be a scare, but you still have to stay vigilant. You still have to make sure that you are emailing your House representatives and you're emailing your senators and still communicating that you oppose this in hopes that they do listen. And honestly, at this point, it's probably up to the highest bidder, whoever is going to ultimately make this go away. Whoever ponies up the most money and can rally the most votes is going to win this battle. That is just how Washington works. That's just how politics work worldwide. It's all about money and who is going to pony up the most. So that is unfortunate. But hopefully we will see, we'll hear more possibly next week or in the coming weeks. Unfortunately, it seems like nothing is slow. At least some information is trickling down and leaking down towards some of these other agencies where we can get information a little bit early. So that is that's a good thing. That is very much a good thing. And I hope here's my hope. After all this dust settles and if it goes the way we hope it goes, I hope you take a good hard look at those that were in favor of this. All of a sudden, those that jump ship on this and they flipped their coin and they were rooting for this to go through. Pay close attention to those people. Pay really close attention to those people. Some of those people are clinging to relevancy very, very hard. They're trying to be relevant. They're claiming that everybody that opposes them is just white noise, but we all know where they stand, truthfully. See, Russ, 51 drones in the house. All right, so let me butt back here in the news here because I know there's some other things happening. It looks like we have some more DJI Air 3 leaks. I will tell you again, still know nothing about it. Haven't heard anything about that. So I would say we're probably a bit of ways away before we're going to hear anything about that. It will be interesting to see if they do bring another drone into the U.S. market before anything happens. I would hope they do, but it looks like they're teasing something else for DJI Pro. I think it's next week that it's coming. I saw it says SDR, which is usually like something for transmission. Nothing that I don't think any drone professionals would be very much interested in, but we'll have to wait and see. Trying to look, I know there was something else that was going on. There's a whole kerfuffle surrounding Rotor Riot. Bunch of people are claiming that they're boycotting Rotor Riot and all this bullshit over Unusual Machines and Red Cat Holdings. People have asked me like my thoughts on that, and I don't have thoughts. Companies are always going to do what's best, and the parent holding companies will always do what a parent holding company wants to do. And it's ultimately you can claim boycott, but somebody's always going to boycott that, and people will always buy. So I don't really have a opinion on that. I think it's sort of silly. The FPV culture is sort of fanboyish, and I would just say stop thinking with a pack mentality and just think with your own thoughts. If you don't believe in something, you don't like what somebody's doing, don't support that company and shut the fuck up. That's it. Because Rotor Riot is supposedly killing people, which is not the case. Red Cat Holdings is a company that technically owns them, and they have other companies that are now militarizing drones, which is honestly, it makes sense. I mean, it's the next evolution, and obviously something that's probably been going on well beyond what Red Cat's been doing. There's other companies that have been doing it, just not been publicized. So is what it is. Wallace, yeah, fuck, take a shot every time he says Wallace. Last time I did that, I was getting my stomach pumped. All right, let me get caught up in the chat here. Hopefully the DJI Air 3S will have a badass 1-inch stack sensor for primary. We'll have to see. I mean, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting because usually, I mean, it's July. I wouldn't suspect anything till next month. If the leaks start piling up harder and harder, I think then maybe we would see something. But I don't think we're going to see something just yet. I think July is a shitty month to release a product. It's a hot month. People are just sort of traveling, vacationing, and I don't feel like people like to spend money in July. You come August, September, and people are a little more spend happy. And then school time starting up, it's a weird time because people are buying school supplies and stuff, and they just feel more inclined to spend money, I feel like. At least that's what I've seen in the past. When will DJI make pogo sticks? Hopefully never. Hopefully never. Off topic, anyone capture any fireworks with your drone? To show anyone ever? No. Nobody does that, Russ. No. I was marked safe from filming fireworks with a drone. I was marked safe. What did Lon say? I got to run back up here. I'm thinking about getting some attack drones. I have 3 targets in mind. All right there, Lon. Passive aggressive. Yeah, Eddie Nunez, he's graced us with his presence. You know, Eddie used to be a co-host running for a good solid year, but Unfortunately, he gets more PTO than you can shake a stick at. So we had a 86 stat. Off topic, anyone capture any fireworks with your drone that you will never show anyone ever? Fuck you, Russ, making me reread that. I need to lay off the Modelo. DJI tractor coming soon. I think the DJI, the motor for the bike was interesting. I think that was probably the more interesting piece of tech that they've put out recently. I'm not super interested in that particular. What is that blinking? What is that blinking? That was the weirdest blinking light. I need to lay off the patch. DJI has added e-bikes to their repertoire. Yes, they have. I think DJI is bringing the 4G dongle to the States. That would be really cool if they did, especially if it's becoming easier to get a waiver for beyond visual line of sight. It only makes sense. I don't know if I would use a 4G dongle. There's never a situation in which I need a 4G dongle, but I can understand some people needing a 4G dongle, but I definitely do not need one. M. Jones, sorry, didn't mean to bring up politics. I didn't even see it. So if you brought it up, I did not see it. I do think the U.S. needs a good competitive drone industry, but I don't think the government is going about it how we should. Yeah, I agree. The problem is who do you have out there that can step up tomorrow or within the next, we'll say, year, that could produce a product? There are some companies out there that are making pretty solid aircrafts, but they're very enterprise oriented. You have Free Fly Systems making, solid equipment, but it's very expensive. They have nothing for consumers. You have Sony that tried, and then I don't know if they've given up on the AirPeak. I feel like they went the wrong direction with that. They should have produced a smaller, more of a Mavic competitor. But again, it always comes back to the transmission. They just can never get the flight characteristics or the transmission right. And I think that is the biggest painstake to most American drones. It's like going back to Lightbridge, or even worse in some instances. Moss says he has a 4G dongle, but it'll only connect to Rock Robotics Network. DJI can barely get FCC clearance at 4G dollar. Well, we don't know. We're not on the side that's doing the FCC approvals. We're not on the side doing FCC approvals, so you don't know how hard it is, or who's reviewing it, or why the approval gets pushed. I'm sure if they wanted to, they could push one through, and it would be no issue. There is a process that goes about approving FCC licenses, but I would imagine that it's not something that they're having difficulties with yet. They can't stop them from getting an FCC license right now. They're not banned from getting an FCC license, so it wouldn't make sense. It just wouldn't make sense. Sony peaked out. Damn right they did, which is sad. I would have loved to see that. What's your thoughts on the Aero Pro? Okay, so the Aero Pro, that's an interesting drone. It looks like a lift drone. It sort of looks like these cutter drones that I've seen. It's made in New Zealand. I mean, it's an alternative. Do I think the camera's worth a damn? No. The specs still look like a potato. I think that's where a lot of these companies fail. They put out this product and and the camera's just from 2016, 2018. So I think that they have to do a better job with the camera, but I think it's a good start. I'm willing to give any brand a chance, providing that they can put out something that has a decent camera. That to me is the biggest thing. I mean, it could fly like shit and have shitty transmission. As long as I'm able to maintain line of sight and it's able to keep in the air and the camera is awesome, you can sort of navigate those inconsistencies, but if it does none of the things well, then it's shit. So we'll have to wait and see. It seems like it's priced pretty decent. I think it was like, under $500 or so. So we'll have to wait and see. Not enough information on it. Yeah, but Lon, the ban hasn't happened, so there's nothing stopping them from gaining FCC approvals now. That's what I'm saying. The ban is to stop them, but the FCC cannot slow the process down because there's talks of a proposal. The FCC may not like DJI, but they can't slow them down. That would be unethical because there isn't an official ban in place. That's like, oh, I don't like you. I see you. You're in line at Burger King. They don't like you, and they're just going to take their time making your milkshake because they don't like you. It's just not ethical. So I don't think that's the case either. Hasn't happened yet. If they haven't put it up for approval in the US, then it's not going to be approved. They have to bring it here first. They have to have a market for it to be here. So I don't think they've even tried to have it approved. I believe there is a database of things you can see approved and denied for FCC as well. Exactly. Yeah, GoPro did make a horrible drone. Well, $800 for something that is built in New Zealand. I mean, it's worth a shot. You know, it's worth a shot to try it out, to test it, to see what it's about. Like I said, I'm open in giving in any company a chance or try it just to have options. You know, again, New Zealand, that's a perfect company. That's an okay country. It doesn't have to be from America. I think that's something too that a lot of people get hung up on is they're so hell-bent that we have to have an American manufacturer. It doesn't have to be an American manufacturer. It can be an Australian manufacturer. It can be from Taiwan. It can be from the UK, although I don't think they really make drones. Most of the people in the UK, I don't think really fly. Well, at least that's what YouTube tells me. I digress. Let's see. Lon, like he doesn't want to sell dongles in the U. Exactly. I think it's more on the line about the visual line of sight deal, more than whether it can get an FCC license. Bob, I think I missed you. I know you said something. Where were you at, Bob? But chat was moving pretty quick. What's up? Really like the light. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate that, man. I wish I was still doing those lights. I sort of parted ways with the designer of those lights. It just wasn't working out. There was things that we were not seeing eye to eye on, so we ended up parting ways. Honestly, I haven't talked to him since we parted ways. I had to make a decision business wise, and that was that. So. Don't hate me, but I fly the Skydio X10 on 5G a lot, and the quality in urban flights is great. Only good reason for cell flights right now. Take away the 5G dongle, and the Skydio X10 is, well, not so great. You have to have 5G to make it great, but Skydio couldn't make it great on its own without the 5G dongle. That's the sad thing. Yep, I digress. So take a shot. Take a drink. Just bought a Mavic 3 Classic. So will I get updates past 2025? You know, there's never a guarantee that a drone is going to get updates. Like when you buy a product, it's ultimately up to the manufacturer on whether or not it's going to get updates past a certain point. I would say that it probably will, but it's more of a question of why would it need updates. If it's operating fine and there's no new features being introduced, then it's probably not going to get updates. But my guess is it will continue to get updates. It's still one of their flagship drones. They don't update it very often other than for geozones and things like that. So, but I would say it's safe to say it'd probably still get updates past 2025. I've flown the Skydio X10 via the dock. Not very good. Sorry, Matt, I disagree. Matt, how much is Skydio paying you? It's okay. You can disclose. You can tell me how much Bry is paying you. I'm sure it'll still work, Richard. I doubt it's not gonna stop working because they disappeared. The app is independent of the company itself. Have I ever seen Skyfish drones? I haven't, Robert. I have not seen Skyfish. I know you don't work for Skydio. But I just find it ironic. A lot of the companies that are getting subsidized aircrafts from Skydio always have like these glowing positive reviews. Yet when you put it in the hands of people that actually they use these things, and whether it be in urban environments or search and rescue or using it for construction, they always have so many frustrations. I should just show the emails that I've received from people. It's just always interesting. Shady tactics. I would be much more of a supporter of them if they didn't dump so much money into the lobbying aspect. If they put more money into their R&D and just sticking to creating a great product and leave the politics out of it, because they could be amazing without the politics. They could be an amazing competitor, no politics needing, no lobbying needed. But they can't do that. So to fight, to try to remain on an even keel, they have to play dirty. That's what I've seen. Your subscription is full price for Skydio for your company. Your subscription is full price. You're paying full price for all your subscription and aircraft from Skydio. That's what I'm saying. Like they're not giving you guys a break to use the aircraft to be advocates for Skydio. That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm asking you. City Style, should I buy stock in Red Cat? Fuck, I would buy stock in Red Cat. Why not? Why not? Well, damn, Matt. Then, I mean, that's, again, maybe your experience has to do with how it is with the 5G. But again, I'd say most of the people that I've talked to, they have mentioned nothing about 5G. And they've said that it's not been a pleasant experience. Now, I do know one person that's using it, and he's in Chicago, and they're using it for facade scans, and they use it because Chicago is like a Bermuda Triangle when it comes to GPS. And for them, it's the safest method. So I can understand why they need to use it in an environment like that. But the vast majority of people that I've talked to, they have not had highlighting or even positive things to say about it. Hi, Rob. Good to see you. I'm just saying they haven't had positive things to say about it. Now, that's not to say that maybe software updates couldn't improve upon that. But I don't know. It's still an expensive amount, an egregious amount of money for software and for the aircraft itself. What did Vic say? Skydio, the air map of the drone manufacturers. It's true. I never said Skydio X10 was the greatest drone in the world. I was just sharing why Cell is good. Oh, yeah. Okay. I can understand that. I can. If you're looking to buy a Skydio X10, Matt he will hook you up with his affiliate code after the show. I'm joking, Matt. I'm joking. And I have limited experience with one. But I'll just say I was not impressed with the build quality from the people that let me get close to it. I flew the Skydio X10 and experienced signal loss and video breakup in a rural area. I mean, again, I could see where Matt sells all the Skydio X10s. If you want a Skydio X10, Matt is now the only authorized dealer in all of the United States. Be sure to click on his little avatar, go to his channel, and email him. He'll give you his affiliate code. He gets 49.67% of all sales attributed to Skydio. He's also taking on all of Skydio's hate mail. See, he's a PR person. He works for them. He's lurking, reporting back, telling them what he's found in this stream. I knew it. Limsticks, what's good, man? Good to see you. Captain Colin, are you related to Captain Drone? No, definitely not. Captain Colin is definitely not related to Captain Drone. Couldn't be farther from the truth. It feels, to me, the Skydio X10 feels almost 3D printed. I don't, it doesn't feel like it was manufactured in the same capacity as other aircrafts that I've felt. It feels 3D printed. I could be wrong. Maybe it's the type of plastics they've used or the composites, but it just feels almost home brewed. It just doesn't feel the same, like how I would expect, that aircraft with all the hype and everything to feel. I don't know. Couple more beers. It's going to get real good. Well, this is the only beer. We did go with the pint. And I rode the e-bike here tonight. So, and I got a helmet, so we're going to be all right. Keep it between the navigational beacons. What time is it? 9:30. What does the DJR take to field SDR promo release today? It has nothing to do with drones. It's all going to be, it's either going to be transmission for cinema cameras or some sort of control system. It has, I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with drones, but I'm sure we'll see in the coming days, I'm sure. Hey, does anyone have thoughts on the DJI ban? Hey, Mark, we talked about that in the beginning. The stream started at 9 p.m. We literally started talking about that. We started talking about that like 10 minutes into the show. After the intro, we started talking about that 10 minutes after the show. Basically, right now, the Senate version of the NDAA does not have the Countering CCP Drones Act in the language. It does not exist in the Senate version that is now going to go back to the House. So as of right now, we're sort of in a ping pong war between House and Senate, because now the House has to look at it and say, yes, we approve with the verbiage that you have right now. Whack it back over the Senate. If everything looks good, it's not there. Senate says everything's great. Goes to the president's desk and nothing happens. Now, if they add that verbiage back in, then we're back where we were like at the beginning of the month, last month. We're at the beginning of last month, basically. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a wait and see. But I am optimistic that they will just probably will pursue a broader ban. Maybe they pursue a broader ban on Chinese products just in general. I could see them doing that, because I think if you target things in a niche, it raises the awareness of those around it. But if you make it a broader ban, a lot of times it's hard for people to really understand it, and then maybe it has a better chance of passing. Why am I giving them help? But that's my thoughts, is that if they do this, it'll be because they do a broader ban. Metro Drones, thank you so much for the $20 super chat. Much appreciated. Oh, they gave me this new thing. I could hit this little heart icon. That's pretty cool. Thank you so much. Mark Optics says, okay, thanks. If you want to shout me out, my channel name is Mark Optics. I have 3D printed content and FPV drone. All right, so if you guys want to check out Mark Optics, FPV, and 3D print content, you can click his little avatar and then go to the description of his video and click on Matt Guess's Skydio X10 affiliate links if you want to buy a Skydio through Matt, courtesy of Mark Optics. There you go. See how we tied all that in together? Ban iPhones? I couldn't see why not. I mean, they are produced in China and controlled by Apple. The problem is many first responders, DJI intervened to save lives and invested money on their fleets. I agree, but unfortunately, there's a lot of people that don't agree, and they say that they are a detriment, they're a danger, but we don't necessarily have that information. They won't give us that information. I just can't imagine if something was so dangerous, why they would still allow it to be operate. I mean, just strike it down at that point. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. Skydio could have been a contender, Robert, but they chose violence. They could have been a contender. I mean, they're a contender in the enterprise space, and there's a lot of enterprise products out there, but I feel like for the prosumer lineup, like I was talking about in my video last week, that the prosumer lineup is often forgotten. There's nobody here for us. We're an afterthought, unfortunately. We're always an afterthought. And it's funny that even in Hollywood, even in movies or products and real estate, things that I do, drones are always an afterthought. They're like, oh, we need this drone shot. And then they want to add it in after the fact. I think Ambulance was one of the first movies that I really watched where I felt like they really prioritized the drone shots and really thought about it a lot, and they were able to make something amazing because it was really planned very well. But I think in a lot of instances, drones really are an afterthought. It's the last thing often that gets filmed, and we're always going to be an afterthought, unfortunately. Couldn't imagine my line of business with a DJI band. Major telcos are used to the M3E quality at this point. If you don't know, Eric does cell tower scans. Matt with a $20 super chat. Buy your X10s from my non-existent store here. See, this is what they want you to believe. He's going to have you click that link, and it's going to revert. You're going to buy a Skydio. Be careful clicking that link. I may just click it for the hell of it. Oh, it's not existent. It literally took me nowhere. I may have just granted access to all my information to Skydio. I saw a post about somebody else's Avata 2 duck guards complaining about them falling off. I told them they should have bought them from you. Lessons learned. Yeah, I've had a couple of people reach out. They bought like AliExpress guards, and the one guy's fell off and fell into his blades, and now he lost his Avata over the water. So, yeah, I mean, that happens. That's what happens when Chinese try to clone me. Dumbasses. Shameless plug. Share my screen, but it didn't go. Oh, you know why it didn't go? I know why it didn't go anywhere. I know why it didn't go anywhere. Only I see why it didn't go anywhere, Matt, because I didn't click the whole link. I didn't copy the whole thing. Let me copy the whole thing and paste it in my browser window now. Let's see. Where does this take me? It says the video isn't available anymore. It says it's not available anymore. That's a bummer. That is a genuine bummer. All right, let's see. I don't think it's going to let me see it. Why is it not letting me see the video? Yeah, it says it's not available. Damn. That's rough. No, that's not working. I'm almost afraid to click on that link for Matt, to be completely honest. Does anybody watch Joshua Bardwell? Never heard of him. I've not heard of him. Weird. No, I can't. I have a short attention span. I have like a TikTok brain. I can't get through I can't get through the first 15 seconds. Remote ID, DJI ban, all brought to you by the Reds. All brought to you by the Reds. Remote ID had nothing to do with Republicans. That had to do with safety. That had to do with the FAA. That had nothing to do with a political party. The FAA is operating at a capacity for safety. We may not like it. You may want to blame a political party for remote ID, but genuinely, it's the agency that's going to decide when it comes to safety. I always laugh when people claim it's Republicans voted in remote ID. Has nothing to do with a political party for remote ID. Anyone want to buy a Mavic 3 Pro Cine? I feel like the Mavic 3 Pro Cine is an overrated aircraft. I had one, I got rid of it, and I don't miss it. I did have one client reach out, ask for ProRes, and I just said, "Hey, I don't shoot ProRes." Mark, I don't know who he is. I've not heard of him. Sounds familiar. I've never heard of him. Never heard of him. Dave S. said, don't click on the link. It's a Rickroll. He's sending another link for his store. All right. Fine. I'm going to click on it. I'm clicking on it. Strangers who love. And so do I. In love. God bless this guy. A feeling. Desert you, just like Skydio. I swear to Christ, if I don't see Skydio, like if they have like a presentation with Adam Bry and he doesn't come out of like a tunnel with fog blaring that song, I don't know what I will do. I would cry if he didn't come out of a tunnel blaring that song. That is the perfect Skydio anthem. God fucking, that was when music was great. Music was so good then. So good. I love Rick Astley. Listen to that. I love it. You love it. Metro, you love it. You love it. You love it. There goes, if there was any monetization, it's gone. It's gone. Right there. I got Rickrolled. I'll have to trim all that out and use that new AI that they have on YouTube. Your ears love it, Bob. Stop it. Stop it. Your ears love it. All right. That's going to do it for tonight's stream. Would you have someone from Skydio on as a guest? I would. I would like to understand their logic behind this. I would love to give them a chance to rebuttal against all the, obviously they're getting a lot of pressure. They're getting a ton of hate because people believe that they are behind this proposals and obviously, you know, people are looking at the money trail and they're connecting the dots and they're waking up and they're saying, whoa, wait a second, there's something here. But yeah, to be honest, I would love to have a conversation. That's a conversation I would have with a heavy delay. But I would absolutely hear them out. I would hear them out, but I don't know how much I would believe because they are obviously very good salesmen. They know to say the right things to the right people to get to make things happen for themselves. But I would absolutely hear them out. I never rule that out. I'm going to want to see proof of Vic flying the X10 Doc. So long as I've known Vic, I've never known him. I've never known him to be a fibber. So if he says he's flown the Doc, I truly believe him. I do. I truly, truly believe him. Maybe that's proof he's going to have to send you with an NDA. Stormy Daniels as my next guest. Don't mind if I do. Yeah, we'll have to have a guest on. I might, you know what? I'm shocked they have not blocked me yet on Twitter after the constant embattlement that I've created. They have not blocked me on Twitter, which kudos to them for enduring that. They probably maybe they had me muted. I'm probably muted. I'm probably muted. I would imagine so. Vic Moss is my Spirit. I thought you said he was your Spirit Airlines. I was going to say, what? All right. Well, I guess that's going to do it for tonight's stream. Like I said, no co-host tonight, just me. And I think that is more than adequate for a lot of reasons. All right. I have to find the outro button because I moved it again. All right. Anything else? Be sure to go ahead and visit Matt Guess's store, selling Skydio X10s at below MSRP. Subscriptions are 50% off through Matt Guess's store. And have a great night.
Maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Yeah. 'Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusionary reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. 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 Yeah. Maybe all my exes is drinking themselves crazy tonight. Maybe I should call and say, told you I'd be right. Wondering how long it was before you realized the biggest mistake of your life, and now you're paying the price.
Stand, give you up, let you down. Fuck Skydio!